Let's talk about summer. Let's talk about summer. Let's talk about the rituals that you can do, the ways you can be in summer to help you feel really good. And how does summer impact winter? And how does your body being in summer in specific ways help you feel more joy and meaning in your life? So I'm Ishia Lin. I am an earth-centered healer and a somatic educator. I work with people and their bodies and spiritual energy. I do soulful transformational life coaching for women, and I do earth-centered healing that works with the seasons, and it's a kind of spiritual, prayerful body work that helps realign, recenter, and rebalance. I'm all about interconnectivity, kind of rebraiding. So I'm here in my studio. Today I want to talk about summer, and this is a piece that is inspired by summer. I do a lot of things, and I want to talk to some of you who do a lot of things, but what is the umbrella? How does it braid into unison and keep you sane? You know, this is not a recipe for failure, as some people might say. As long as your many things are unified. So I dance in nature, I teach and work with nature for healing, and I paint nature. And these three things really come together to create transformation for myself and others. That's loud. So what I want to talk today about is how you can make the most of your summer. We're coming up on summer solstice. We just had the flower moon, which is this is inspired by the flower moon, which is the early June full moon. And I want to talk today about the opportunity of summer and how to work with the summer ritualistically. Now we have a couple things coming up. If you're local, come on up to the Star House. We're doing our solstice gathering on Saturday. It's community, men, women, children who are up for the journey. And Sunday is my women's annual initiation, summer initiation, and that will be a dance, painting, and rattling. It's an alchemy of the shamanic arts for transformation. Alchemy, when we use that word, it's heat. We heat up, whether metaphorically or viscerally, we heat up where we're creating change. So if you're not local and you're really curious about this, June 30th, we'll be launching a Ritual Revival Summer Series. We did the spring, we're going into summer now, and that is ways to really call on that inner priestess, that inner muse, the creative muse that becomes so enlivened in the summer. We'll be doing rituals, we'll be having counsel, and just to be a weekly support for you to be living in alignment with your deepest truth. Those of you who are connected to that inner priestess, longing or living, you know what I'm talking about. We want to live with more meaning, with more discipline to do our practices and our rituals. And I'll tell you why from a very personal experience. This past fall, I had a brain injury, and it really set me back emotionally and physically, my nervous system. And everything I did the fall and winter was very hard. It was difficult, and it kept me from the rhythmic routine of my yoga and my practices. It got me very off center and off track. And we do these practices to stay centered and on track in the world at large that is pulling us out of the center that we want to be living in. So I did very much get pulled out and disrupted with the brain injury, and I ended up having some very severe seasonal depression. And this is what happens when we don't walk, when we can't walk the seasons with focus and center. I really want to share today the opportunity of the summertime, and not just for feel good and play, which summertime is, but how it impacts our winter, how saving up pennies of light in our body and our memories and our joy prepares us for a better fall and winter. So if you're used to being a workhorse all summer, saving up pennies for real pennies, money for fall and winter, and then you lose track of being in the joy and receptivity of summer, you can really feel the impact of not being available for fall and winter's task. So I'm going to talk about summer's task for those of us wanting to live in harmony with the earth, and the opportunity here. But I wanted to give you that example because I've been living this work for decades, but even I can get very off center because it requires that we engage and we really practice, and full body, full mind, full heart. And it's in my opinion, if you are an empath and extremely sensitive like me, it does require physical, mental, and spiritual practice, and the weaving of that. So when we look at the things that we are doing and sometimes feeling like scattered, I want you to think, what is feeding my body, what is feeding my spirit, and what is feeding my soul? Let's talk about those three things and what it means to feed those, especially in summertime. The soul, this is our personal essence. This is soul essence. This is what makes us a unique human being this lifetime. The soul energy, soul essence. The spirit is the thing that runs through all things. The spiritual energy of summer is impacting us. It's the thread that connects us, that sews us together. And so if you know, like the prayer flags, each little flag is a prayer, a unique prayer. That's our soul. Your little personal body prayer hanging on the hanging there, just whoo, blowing in the breeze, sending out your soul essence to the world this lifetime. The string is the spirit that's holding all of these flags, holding it in place, connecting us. One of the problems with modern culture is that we have ignored and disregarded the thread that holds us together. So we become a flying flag in the air, just whee. At first that can be fun, a wild a wild flag just flying in the breeze off on its own, but it can land and get stuck in the mud. And then if you're not having connection with that thread that can bring you back into harmony, you're stuck in the mud. Well, good news, people like myself and others who do this work, what we do is we come running with the thread and thread you onto the flag to be reconnected with all of us. So that's what we're doing. Now the body, when that soul and spirit are connected, then the body can relax. So again, then we have the physical makeup of the the prayer flag that can hang and interact, be embodied, be in place, be centered to interact and offer prayer and connection to the world through that union of soul and spirit. And that being intact in the body gives us a lot of opportunity to experience life differently. When we're stuck in the mud, isolated, away from spirit, and our soul is kind of dim, buried in the mud, we're like, God, I feel like I have a purpose, but I don't know what it is. You got to get reconnected to spirit, hanging and feeling the embodiment of your soul that is here to generate action and communion with the elements. So when you're up there hanging, you're in the rain, you're in the wind, you're in the light, you're connected to the trees, the plants, the earth. So this is what we want to do in each season. How do we connect? How do we reweave body, soul, and spirit? Well, here's a couple of ideas. And again, I'm partial to dancing, painting, and being on the earth with nature and nature healing. So for me, the painting is a really a soulful experience. So the dance connects me to my body. The dance really helps me to feel earth, feel my soul, feel the spirit. It's kind of the unified experience of my body. when I go out into nature, it feels like this is where I get reunited with spirit, with the interconnectivity of things. And we have a lot of alchemical processes that help us to be with the spirit of the plants, reunite that thread. And the painting feels like my soul essence. This is where my expression, my soul essence, my unique essence gets painted, and I grapple with it. Some people do that through writing. It does come through my writing as well sometimes. But the creative arts, it might also be how you live and create your home, or it could be many things. But I want to help you to understand like the sacred braid. So then, as a ceremonialist, I create ceremony with painting, dance, and nature of the seasons. And so, as a ceremonialist, this braid is my tool set to reunite with spirit, soul, and body. And that's what I help you do in our work together, or in our ceremonies or rituals together. So lately, I've been very interested in weaving this braid even tighter. This is a sample sheet. This is made with clay, rose clay. This is a marine mica. What else is on here? There is, you can't see, but the yellow, this is dandelion. So this was a sample sheet to see what kind of natural pigments. So bringing the natural pigments, which is my energy of connecting with spiritual reconnection with the earth. I often dance on the earth. That's another collaboration of soul and spirit. But I'm really excited about the collaboration between spirit and body. And so I will be bringing, this is created with acrylic on canvas. But when I was painting this, I wanted her to feel more life. So in alchemy, in the actual chemistry science, ancient science of alchemy, part of the ways that we work with the transformation of science with the alchemy is I just learned this one specific part of alchemy recently, and it's very exciting. A woman, Courtney Cosgrove, she is really studying the ancient alchemical artistry with the plants. For me, alchemy has been a study of nature and movement and the heating up and the process with the painting. So it's very exciting to get another piece of the alchemical process. But in alchemy, heat is essential to break down the plant matter into its crystalline form. And then you put that back into the medicine to reunite the spirit, soul, and body. So that is something that I have been working on for years. Like, how does everything interconnect? So for me, painting nature has been my way of kind of bringing it together. But I was feeling in the last several months, well, it's been a longer it's been several years now that I've been working with natural pigments, but I've been wanting to bring it into and collaborate with the acrylic paintings, because the sense of bringing that soul crystal back into body. Does that make sense? So using some of the natural pigments and plants in the painting itself. So we're using clays and mica that's already been prepared, and I am learning how to prepare my own from, this is rose crystal with gemstones. And I'm really excited about the turquoise colors. So again, the heat, this is a beautiful one. So grinding them up, and the process of grinding creates heat, and then we mix it with different substances to I don't want to get too far into this. This is not what we're talking about today. But I do want to invite you on Sunday, where we will be talking about painting and pigments and weaving art into your spiritual soul practice. So, where are we? Oh, so hi, the gemstones. The gemstones and the natural paint onto the painting itself. This is a picture of Mother Earth, the spirit of summer. I want her to have the earth on her, so I'm going to be putting clay and henna and actually plant matter onto the canvas, which I'm very excited about. So this is just one example, again, of how do soul, spirit, and body meaning our body or physical body, the body of the plants, the body of creation, with soul and spirit, which are more of an invisible, the crystals or the plant matter hold some of that soul and spirit of nature that we can weave together. So how does this pertain to you? Well, I want to talk to you about summer and how are you feeding your soul, spirit, and body, and how are you braiding them together? Like I said, it's very important. You can go have a hoot and holler of a summer and tend to the physical body, and maybe that will even reconnect you with spirit, the joy of living. But is your soul purpose, is your soul essence being fed? The same could be true if you're, going on a spiritual retreat and just ignoring your body, just going into the spirit realms and ignoring your body. Summertime is the time of the body. It is the sensual time of year. It is the time when nature is spreading wide. It's the time when it's a sexy time. It's a sexy time. It's the orgasm. Spring and summer is the orgasm of the year. So are you taking time to play and feed the spirit, the soul, and your body? What does that look like? Are you eating summertime foods that are nourishing you? Are you making time for the elemental reunion? The summertime, we can really play in all of the elements outdoors, and we can get wet and not get too cold. We can be with the earth. She's right here. She's green, she's wet, she's moist. Sometimes she's dry and crusty, just in the sun. We can take the earth and put it on our skin and our body. We can jump into the waters. We can make sacred fires and sing and chant around the fires. I may be speaking to some of you where you're like, this is a little out there, singing around a fire, putting mud on my face. Yeah, I understand. And you're exactly the person I want to talk to. A lot of the people who are keeping our world going, a lot of the people are people like you who are in industry jobs, who are in blue collar, get out there and work every day, or in working for corporations and air conditioning and controlled environments. And this is important to me, that you get tended to, that you start to feel the deep meaning of your life. Just because you're not working for Greenpeace doesn't mean that your life isn't centered around love for the earth or love for humanity. You're making ends meet. You're making important choices for our system, our social systems, our worlds to carry on. Industry and corporations, they keep things running. We're modern livers. We live the modern life. We need products and things. At the same time, any of us who get too removed from the spiritual thread that connects us, that spiritual energy that moves through us, the elemental wisdom, our soul essence, knowing that there's a deeper meaning for our life, we tend to get depressed. Now, in the modern world, when we get depressed, let's go to happy hour and get drinks, right? I mean, out here in Boulder, often, there's a little more of a let's go on a hike. But I have friends who are amazing people, and meaningful people. But often if there's boredom, if you're bored and you can't feel the inspiration of life moving you forward, drinking alcohol. Now that's an interesting thing, drinking alcohol. It's a way of instilling the spirit. Remember, the spirit, we distill the spirit from the plants in alchemy to create these different alcohols, beer, vodka, gin. These are distilled plants. We are pulling the spirit out of the plant, the soul of the plant. So when we drink alcohol, it's often, even though it's the kind of thing that we can feel and it helps numb us or make us feel a little better. But in essence, we are also reaching for the spirit of plants. And when we are feeling disconnected, or when we are feeling insecure, when we're out in the bars and we're like, I need a drink, this is too intense, or you're going on a date, I need a drink. What is that? It's the spirit of the plants. It's the spirit of the elements. It's the heat of the sun, of the fire that has distilled this. It is the waters. It is the plant matter, the earth. So it is the air that infuses it all. So think about how you might work with the elements and the longing for this spiritual energy in a more life-giving way. Now, having a drink once in a while is super fun. There's no problem with that. Having 5 or 6 by yourself home alone and thinking that's normal on a couple times a week, this can be problematic. I mean, just because, where are you? Like, what is going on? Where have you been? Like, if you're going on an intentional journey with these spirits, great. But if you're just home alone, bored, or feeling like your life has no meaning, this is a problem. And this is also problematic at summertime, because this is the time for us to really feel it's amplified. The sun is amplifying the plants, the green energy, the plants, the sun is amplifying our purpose, our joy. So many people can get seasonal depression in the summer because it can feel overwhelming, and then people hide and it's just too much. So this can happen in summer too, the seasonal depression, especially if you're feeling that amplification and it's like someone screaming at you like, you're amazing, and you're like, I don't get it, why? I don't know who I am, or there's a million reasons, these are just, it's simplifying it. But so I want to ask you, what can you do to help yourself stay engaged in summer? The great practice of summer is to receive the blessing and expand into it. So this is something I worked with a client today. I thought it was a really fun analogy that came through kind of haphazardly, but the glow-in-the-dark paint, and you paint it, but you can't see it. But if it gets charged by the sun and you turn the light off, it's glowing bright, and it's very exciting. So this is the relationship between summer and winter. In the summer, we are painting our bodies with light. In the winter, when we turn off the light, when the sun goes quiet, what we painted onto our body, our soul, our spirit, is revealed. And that is what is glowing in the darkness. When we brighten our body, our soul, our spirit, our heart, that's what's glowing in the dark of winter. When we have not been able to really focus on that kind of painting of light, where it gets interrupted with an injury or something like that at the end of summer or winter or fall, these things can shift. There's a million reasons. We can always come back to center and back to the light. But this is an opportunity right now with summer solstice, knowing that what you're doing is being amplified and it's being painted on your body. What is it? Are you making time for enough joy and play? And intending that play to be soulful, meaning, are you feeding that deep soul connection? Are you aware of what that deep soul connection is, what your soul essence is, what your soul mission is? And are you making it a point to reach and blend and interconnect with the spirit that runs through us all? So that's enough for today. If you want some actual specific rituals, join us on Ritual Revival. It would be wonderful to have you. We're going to create specific rituals that you can do in your day-to-day with your families, with your summertime play, how to make it meaningful. We're going to review the ritual and ceremonial arc and map, so you make sure that it's a really complete circle of an experience. We're going to work with the priestess codes, the elements, the 12 senses, the zodiacal wisdom. So if all of this is like, ooh, so it's just a 2 hours a week to check in, and then we send you off with some play to go do, some conscious play, ritual play. For today, I'd like to leave you with an assignment. I want you to write down spirit, soul, and body. And I want you to write down 3 things for each that feeds each this summer. So summertime things, like for me, getting to the beach. I'm in Colorado. It's hard to get to the beach, but I will be getting there at least one time because I will be going right after a solstice to visit my family, and we'll be going to the beach. My life needs to have a beach vacation in the summer. I have realized that to feed, to really feed my soul, to brighten my soul, to paint the light onto my being. So figure out what are the 3 things that need to feed each spirit, soul, and body this summer that you want to get to, that you feel like really what you need to really make sure that the light is painted on deeply for your winter, that you will have that experience. So the 3 things, and some of them might overlap, and the three things are once again they're things that brighten you, and also things that you can bring more consciousness to. So it's like, if it's going to the beach, wow, going to the beach feeds my soul essence. When you're at the beach, be at the beach differently then. Like, I am feeding my soul essence. I'm going to drink this in. I'm going to gather some sand for my altar. Like, really know that this is your opportunity. This is, just revel in it, bask in it, be totally present for it. And that's what bringing this kind of ritual, inner priestess, priest awareness to life can instill, really more presence and more gratitude and more embrace of life itself. That's all for now. I'm Ishia Lynn, and blessings on your summer solstice. The actual summer solstice, sol means sun, solstice, cistern is the sense of stillness, of causing pause. That's the second part of that word is generated from a word that means cause to pause. So sun with pause. So the solstice is a time when the sun is paused for a moment. It's suspended in its fullness. Summertime is like that. The beginning of summer, we're suspended in our fullness, in our youthful play, and the memory of light, of fullness of light. So on summer solstice, it's a time, it's a weekend or a day to not be busy. So we'll be doing some things like creative practices and time with the plants, but there'll be practices that help us be present with the gift of the sun. The sun, because the sun exists, we exist. This interconnectivity from millions of light years away affects us here and now. Isn't that amazing? The light and fire emanating from this star gives us the opportunity to have a life, to warm our planet. A heat like that, a light like that, that's incredible. Incredible. as I'm saying this, I'm like, I have no idea how far the sun is from us. I don't know if it's a million light years or 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. I don't know. I should look that fact up, and I will right now. But my point is, it's freaking far. It's not down the street. And when we question this sense of, are we really connected? I have people who doubt this idea of spirit connecting us all. Well, I mean, the tree is right there. Can we feel connection to it? Why wouldn't we be able to feel the light and the energy of a tree right there if the sun, so many light years away, is warming us in a way that we can viscerally feel? We can see our bodies and plants reach for that light. It gives us daylight and warmth and fire. If we can be interconnected with that every day, that far away, how are we not connected to the things right here in our path? I think that's a good question. So if you're a doubter, I am a little bit of a skeptic because I'm from New Jersey and I grew up with skepticism and doubt. So I'm always battling that. But again and again, the earth, the universe, the miracle of being alive in a body on earth with the sun, it blows my mind, opens my heart every day to realize that. And when it's not, that's the red flag, that's the danger zone. When we're not in awe of what is happening here, that's a real red flag. That was me in the winter. Real red flag. I could not get out of bed. I could not feel that joy of being. And so if you're having that experience, please reach out for support. Seasonal affect disorder affects us in all different seasons for different reasons. So reach out. My Soulful Transformational Coaching can focus on that, or we can do just a one-off shamanic healing for you. But don't isolate and be alone. And I know that's part of it, but I'm just here to remind you, reach out. Some people understand and can help. Bless you. Get signed up for Ritual Revival. If you're local, come this weekend for Solstice and embody her wisdom with the Women's Retreat on Sunday. And I'm very excited to hear about your summers. As you go through your summer, post, connect, comment, let us know what's happening. I'd love to know. And I'm getting busier here, so if you like it. If you want to subscribe and invite us over again, I would love to connect with you. And I've been holding this, I should tell you. This is a paintbrush made with my own hair. We make paintbrushes with leaves, with hair, with plants, and it's really fun. And it's been really fun. This is my hair from many years ago, like over 2 decades ago. I guess maybe just under 2 decades maybe. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh gosh, my hair was so pretty. But it makes a great paintbrush. Ritual paintbrush, I should say. All right, that's all for now. I'm Ixia Lin, IXEEYALIN.com. And if you need some art, or you need some support, you need some prayers, or you just need a reading or healing, reach out. I do all of that, and I'm in the garden most days reporting from there. Tomorrow we're up at Star House with our weekly yoga class, and Wednesday on Zoom here with embodied seasonal dance healing. All right, that's all for now. We'll talk soon.